crying out loud. Fuck, everything I'm touching lately. Jesus. I'm still getting reminiscences of that stuff. It must have gone everywhere. Right, let's quickly just set this up. Month is six today, yeah. 25, lovely. Clock PM. It is 1:57. PM. I'm going to make sure this syncs. There you go. Save 5,000 steps a day. Lovely. The Tetris watch. It's actually quite a nice one. So, settings, battery, lovely, date, time, power, power down. Now turn it off. Calculator, settings, stride, display, that's it. Maximum. Brightness, maximum brightness, lovely. Volume, nice. Vibration, yes. Wake, yes. Factory reset. I think that'll do. Tetris. So we can go puzzle or marathon. Options. Who's done? Titles auto restate, goes piece, puzzle, start. Exit. Oh, it's another little watch. I thought there was I think this guy's going to see. So you can actually see on the watch on that front, but Tetris, so you can go. No, okay. likes it. It's actually not a bad little watch. It's a limited edition. It's a limited edition Tetris watch. So hopefully it's made by a company called My Play Watch. I've got an Atari one as well. And managed to get some other bits with it, i.e. managed to get some Tetris straps. I think these ones are extra, but because I backed this up I got these for free, so you can actually put on there, so you've got all nice little colour ones to put on. But actually it's a lovely little watch to wear, so the time you sort of like put that on, you can clearly see you've got a little charging cable on the back of it. So basically you just put your shoe on these. It's magnet, so you just put it on there, and then it starts charging, so you can clearly see. So yeah, it's actually it's a really, this is their newest watch that they've brought out. Literally come out a few days ago. So because I've got the Atari one, and the Atari one is actually quite nice, but this is their newest edition. One watch that I haven't got yet, which I do want to collect, will probably be the Space Invaders, which was their first one. But these have only just come out, and they had limited stock. I do have one of these available for sale, so if you're interested, send me a message, and I can put you in. I can, you know, because these were only for backers only on that thing on it. But yeah, absolutely love it. It's got a nice big watch front. Let me grab my other one and show you. So the other one that I've got, which was on it, was an Atari. So these were obviously made by the same company that actually makes these up. So this one does have classic. Actually, the ones I've looked. Actually, I'll keep these all boxed up because I like to keep them to show these off on my retro thing. And if I just gently peel this off, because it's still hardly used, this one, and if I power this on, I remember what one it is. I knew it was one of these. One of these does power it, so bear with us. I forgot what button, unless the battery's gone flat. That wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, it looks like the battery's gone flat, so don't worry, I'll just, because they all use the same charging cycle connections. There we go, 28%. So this, so it should have powered it on. I forgot what button. Is it both buttons? I forgot what bloody button it was to switch it on. Oh, here we go. I did have it. Oh, I've done it now. Let's see what button it is. Come on. I like the Atari 2600 logo on these, because these, again, I've got some extra straps that they give you for the Atari. Yeah, where we go. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's take that off. There you go. That's what's done it. So on this one, right, you've got all different faces that you can pick. So you just virtually just turn it. So you've got a nice retro 1970s, because you do have the I think that one was the joystick on this one, but we've got a couple of games. We've got Super Breakout, Centipede, Pong, Missile Control. So we've got 4 games on this, so which is fantastic, which I absolutely love. Who's just joined on this stream? Let me just click on there. Me and my son did have the Mario block on that one. Sorry, Lego setup. I know, yeah, I've got the Lego to do. I'm just showing off the watches because I've just got some of the new. I've just got the new Tetris watch, which I wanted to show off, and I was just showing someone else on there. So yeah, with the Atari 2600, these ones, because of the company that's just made these are fantastic. So yeah, you've got Super Breakout, so you click on play, and you can use the, it's really difficult. So if you want to come out, you click exit, touch it, and then back again. And then, so we've got Centipede. It's even got the original sounds, which is fantastic. I love it. And then you've got obviously that was super. You got Pong, and you know the classic bat and ball one. Brilliant. I love these old watches. I think they're absolutely really great. And then what other one did we have? We've got Missile Command, my all-time favourite game. I absolutely love this one. So this one you do have to use your finger. That one's going to get striped, but you get the general idea of it. But these, I mean, these were the two. I mean, this goes well along with my Atari. So you know, this is obviously what I love about these type of retro sort of, like, you've got a timer, alarm clock, you've got a stopwatch. So if you wanted to put it on a stopwatch or alarm or something, calculator. Why? You've got a calendar. A calendar is always useful, but yeah, I mean, these are right. These are fantastic little game watches on there. At the end of the day, and then you power it down. You obviously got the sounds, but the Tetris watch is absolutely beautiful. So you've got all different faces. So you can have all different. You can have that sort of retro look on this one. Tetris is just a classic. I think that's a cool design at the end of the day. These ones give you a heart rate, because obviously you've got a heart rate monitor. So things on that. But the classic Tetris, I think they're absolutely spot on with this. I think they've really done a great job. This feels much more premier than the Atari 2600, obviously being a newer type watch, but really cool, absolutely really cool. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat these type of watches, of what these are. I mean, this is the reasons why I'm thinking that, you know, when my play watch, these obviously these are from the backers, so you will need, you can purchase these now through the websites, or you go on Amazon. EBay do sell this one a little bit more expensive, and and this one, the Tetris, they don't sell at the moment. It's you can buy it on Amazon. You can only buy it through Amazon through America. They don't sell them in the UK. I have got a spare one for sale. I bought two. It's actually on my listing. I bought two to actually if someone was interested in buying, because I always buy one just in case someone said, "Oh, you got one for sale?" Because you physically can't buy this one at the moment. You can only buy it in America. It's not released in the UK at the end of it. So I am the first one to grip my hands on one of these. Obviously, I can't compete against me. I am a bit of a watch person. I do love my watches. I mean, this being a Samsung, the Galaxy, the Galaxy 8, so it's the latest one. It come with my phone, so give or take. But yeah, overall, absolutely lovely. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chill. These are cool. I used to have the Nintendo Game & Watch ones one of the days. Yeah, do you know what, bud? I totally agree. I mean, these are the reasons why I love these type of watches, because again, you put them on. I mean, I only have these on for display anyway, literally for display purposes, because again, it just shows off. I mean, this goes well with all my Atari collection that I've got on my retro stuff. So yeah, I would say this is the reasons why I love putting these on there, on that front. But this one always seems to catch the the thing when I turn it off. The button, it pushes against the button, and then it sort of turns it off. So yeah, and then it turns it back on again. So yeah, it's a bit of a, I think there's a bit of a technique, because these watches are so wide, and these are only narrow. They're not really designed for watches like this, but I really only wanted this just to put on for display purposes, because I've got a Tetris. I love the little quirky sounds that they give you. Absolutely, really, really cool. But yeah, I actually, I mean, like you said, you can't beat, when it comes to me and retro, it has to be number one. I have to have the retro stuff, because you know, being a big retro nerd back in the very early days, you know, you ask any Gen X, that any older generation remembers a lot of these stuff, and it's fantastic. It really is good. I'm just lucky that, you know, I've managed to save a lot by actually getting it, some of this stuff repaired. Bloody hell. Downloaded. Oh, right. There was a document for this, and that's what when you boot this up for the first time, it actually says you go to the Patreon's website, and then there's a document you can download, and it gives you more information about the watch, because there's no booklet with these at the end of the day. I mean, it literally just come with one strap. The strap it come with, which is this, and the watch. This strap they won't give you. This is a limited edition strap. Retailing on these are just under about $28, so it's about, give or take, about £15. I got that thrown in because I backed them on the watch. So that's the doorbell. No, sorry, bud, it's not it's not Andy's doorbell. It's my phone. I've got a doorbell sound on me phone side, so it just gives me notifications on that front. But yeah, the watch, yeah, absolutely fantastic. It's a lovely piece of kit at the end of the day. Really, really impressed of how this literally worked out. And yeah, I would say I'm more than happy with the watch itself on that front. Let me put this watch back in, and then I can actually, that's the one. So it has to go in a certain way. But so I had to open this because this was what's name. Someone, I mean, but there ain't. If you try to look, that's all right. Yeah, it does say like doorbell. It does. It's like, if someone's at your door, no, I've got different notifications for that. But I think for these type of, the company that started this, My Play Watch, was absolutely, you know, when they first announced. So I've got one more to get, which will be the Space Invaders, and then I'll have all three. So, you know, this is a very small company that's still on backers on the Kickstarter program. So, you know, I love showing their support because this is the outcome of doing watches, gaming watches. But, you know, it's really cool. I mean, you know, this is their newest version, the Tetris one, and it really feels like a quality Premiership sort of watch. I don't know what the battery's life like, because really I'm not going to be wearing these because they are a little bit expensive. They're not exactly cheap. I think I paid, this was about $120, give or take, with imports and duty taxes. It cost me roughly around about just under £90 just for the watch. This one, again, it had to be I did manage to get this one from Amazon, but again it was roughly around about 70. So it's, I think it was just over £70 for that one. So yeah, these ain't exactly cheap, but this being their brand new one, yeah, you won't be able to get this. It's just they just don't sell them in the UK at the moment. They're only based in America, and you can only buy them in America. But because I've got good contacts, you can get them imported, but you will have to pay imports and duty taxes, and there'll be a bit of a wait at the end of the day. But the companies where I deal with all my arcades managed to bring one up. He bought two of them over, which I paid for at the end of the day. So I have got one of these up for sale if anyone's interested. You won't get the limited edition strap because these were very limited for this only, and it was only for the backers that only for that. You can buy them separate, but they are expensive. So I got that thrown in. So on that front, but yeah, I thought I'd just show off the newest type of watch on that front. So today, because yesterday I started on the cassette radio that I managed to purchase yesterday. Unfortunately, it did have some problems and it did leave a mess. So let me put these back. So today I want to make a start on this Lego. This Lego is a limited, again, this is the arcade. If I zoom out, you can guys see, and I'm not making it up. This is a bar top Pacman, but made out of Lego. Now, this ain't for the faint-hearted because it's 2,651 pieces. So this will keep you. This is not going to be done as a part of that. And again, you know how expensive Lego is. It's not exactly cheap. It's a lot of stuff involved. You do get the Pac-Mans. It doesn't come with the battery, but you've got to wind up because apparently this is mechanical, and you can actually what's the name of it? So you can actually move all the characters around. It sort of goes around in a circle. It shows you an arrow where he moves. So the Pac-Man moves around with the mechanical arm at the end of the day. It's not electric, which I would have liked to have seen electric at the end of it. I suppose you can convert it, but obviously you're going to have to get a little servo motor to actually put that in, and then you know, I suppose you could switch that for a switch, which I'm surprised they didn't. Also, I noticed that there is a 25 cents light up, but the batteries are not included to light that little light up at the front, which comes right at the bottom here. So yeah, interesting. It says it comes with a back. The box is massive. I'm hoping it's not as big as that, because I really did want to put this on display on that front. And I've laid out, in total, it looks like there is 13 packets. Oh, 14 packets in total. So we've got some decals that obviously we can put on the side, on that front. So we have got some decals to put on the side. But my God, look at the book. This is what I'm saying about it has to go in stages. So obviously, now Lego is going to make a disclaimer, because Lego is, people think Mega Bloks is you know, the same as Lego. Yeah, it looks like it. I did buy a Mega Bloks Xbox 360, and unfortunately I got halfway through, there was too many pieces missing, so I abandoned that idea. And again, not cheap. Lego being priced, very pricey with Lego. Lego's always been very expensive. It just is. It can't be helped with the way their price is, right back to the early days. And I'm glad they haven't made too many on this. So this is their only version of Lego of a bar top of a Pacman. But this was in Argos on a sale. And I thought I'll grab it while it's on a sale, because the price of the Lego never goes down, it always seems to go up. So first things first, I'm thinking that we always start off with number 1. So we've got 2 bags here with number 1 on it. So I'm going to grab, these are the only 2 I've got on there, and I've got 2 and 3. So there's about 13, 14 in total bags, but it will guide you through the stages. Run time, I don't know how long this is going to take, but obviously Lego can be put together very quickly. Now it does obviously give you through, if I move the camera down, you guys can see, right, so you can actually see that it sort of guides you through. You can download, if you get stuck, they're saying that there's a guide that can guide you through the pieces. But this is the idea of the booklet at the end of the day. It comes in a nice fancy sort of covering, so you can keep the book in really good condition. But you know how small, you've only got to lose one bloody small piece out of this at the end of the day, on that front. So yeah, we've got like the first, you know, we've got the sort of the look of the guidance, and obviously what made this inspire of making this, because people thought, right, again, being a retro nerd, when you used to get to level 99 on, if you can get to level 99, or is it something like that, you get garbled texts. Now, they thought the game had crashed. Now, as far as I know, Jacques Schumel, who sort of like, you know, made the inspiration of Pacman, now, he actually, the coders actually put that in, but they thought the game crashed. It was actually, but it was integrated with the game because it made it difficult. So they honestly left, but they left that was actually a bug that was actually identical that they left into the game. So when you reached past a certain level, you get all this garbled text on one side. And I know because my friend's got the arcade and he did get past, and this was left in. So this is true. This was actually, people think the game's crashed or it's got a bug in it. Well, they left that in to make it hard to get past that level. So it sort of scrambles halfway through. So you have to go blindly, and hopefully you can eat a pellet or ghost don't get you at the end of the day. So, which is, I think that's a really cool sort of way on that front. But yeah, so hopefully this bar top ain't going to be too big. And looking at it, the box was massive, because I was hoping to put it up with my other bar top, my little miniature bar top that I put together, my little PVC one. So we've now got to the, now we should have a tool. Yeah, we do. So this orange tool, they always put these in. They actually do put these in. This is what they call a pry tool. So if you, like when you put the Lego or the Mega Bloks together, once they snap in, you've got a hell of a job to literally try to get them apart. And you're thinking, oh, I'm going to run into problems here. You know, I've now got to try and use a smasher to try and move these out. No, you can actually use the pry tool. So you won't need screwdrivers. You won't need spatulas like, you know, like spadgers like this, the metal ones where it's ultra thin. These do come in handy because I use these on a lot of things, but you shouldn't, because you're supposed to use exactly what it states in the bag, and that's the tool that you probably all are going to need, one or two of them that you're going to have to take apart, because like I said, Lego, I've never known them to miss any pieces. They're really good. If you do get a problem and there is a piece that's broken or deformed from the factory, they will ring them up. There's a free phone number that's on the back of the book. You contact them saying, I bought this so and so. They will check to make sure that you purchased it, and then, like, free of charge, they won't even charge you. They will send you out extra pieces of the bits you're missing, and they will not charge you at the end of the day. And they normally give you like a little voucher of the next purchase, which I think that's really cool. But I've never run into any issues when it comes to Lego. Mega Blocks, different matter. Unfortunately, when I tried to Mega Blocks, you can only contact them by email, and it took 2 weeks for them to respond. By then I took it back and got my money back. Lego have a 24/7 landline, which you can ring them. So if you do run into any problems, don't worry. You know, they're there to help you. This is why Lego have 100% fantastic feedback rate, is because their customer service is A1, and I can't, you know, they are really blinding on that front. But they're so confident in their products. This is why their products are so expensive. So you will, you know, this is why when you do a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and I'm a bit of a Star Wars sort of nerd as well, but they're too expensive. I mean, when you start saying between £500 and £700 for a Lego set, these ain't for kids. These are for adults, and it even states it on there. This is for adults only. So don't run away with the idea that you're thinking that these are meant for kids. You know, obviously kids will like it. It's fantastic. You know, because Lego has been going around for years. So we've got, in total, we have 14 bags, right? So we're starting off with 1 to 2 bags, which then the good thing is the book actually does guide you through it. So after the 14 bags, you will have a Pacman that sits on top, and these Pacman you can rotate at the end of the day. You will have a bar top with your little, you know, your decals. Obviously, that's what these decals are for. So you can put the decals on the side, and then you know, and you can put some at the back. You've got one that says Start Game. So I assume that's where these go on the front panel of the control panel bit. So yeah, so this is really cool. I really do. So first things first, it's telling you what bags you're going to need first, which is going to be bag 1 and bag 2. So first things first, I've got bag 1 with 2 bag 1s. So let me go and grab bag 2 and see. We're going to grab bag 2. We have got bag 2. So we've got another bag there because you've got 14 in total. So, which is, I think, you know, this is going to be a really cool build. I just know it's going to be a cool build because looking at the box, again, you don't really see many of when Lego gets put together. So normally you do this off camera at the end of the day. Obviously, I'm doing it live so you guys can watch and come along on the journey at the end of the day. So, really, Bronson? I mean, you know, are you thinking of really, oh, sorry guys. So let me bring that into shot. That's the one. So yeah, let me move my camera on that front. So we got that there. So I want to move my camera a bit because the desktop camera's bloody moved out of the way, and I want to move it. So I want to get to creative. Where's the front camera? Desktop camera, front camera, audio capture. So let me just quickly have a look, guys, because I don't know what this, because I'm using the OBS software. So I'm just gonna give me bear with us 1 minute. Oh, Joey's on. He always gets, blimey, he's got some viewers on these. But he's been, he run into some issues with his graphics cards that he bought at the end of the day. And let me have a quick look to see what this looks like. Yeah. So the arcade Ledo, yeah, as I thought. So I'll need to alter that camera angle. So I don't know where they've managed to put the camera. Yeah, Logitech. There you go. Much better. Right, okay. So that's good, because now it's moved over and you guys can see much better. And I've also altered the streaming now to maximum 1080 because for some reason it was set at bloody 1440 and I didn't really want it set at 40. I thought I could probably stream more than that, but 1080 is more than enough on there. So I've done a bit of alteration on OBS's software. So hopefully, right. So first things first. We've got bag 1 and 2, so we're going to need bag 1. So what we're going to do is bring that up. Now, it says, because we've got 2 bag 1s, what type of bag are we going to need for, obviously, because I've got to try and have a look, because it doesn't tell you. Is it for... It might be for these bits. I don't know. See, again, it's confusing because it doesn't really. When you're having a look on this front, it doesn't really give you that much guidance when it comes to for the Lego. Because all it says on there, look, all it says is bag 1. So it's not really giving you much details. But I've got 2 bag 1s. So what's the bag? What type of bag do I use? I mean. So I start off with this bag. I mean, or is it this small bag? Because this has got one and all on this bag, but it's got bits of that which doesn't really. It's not really guiding me. See, this is the only thing that's confusing with Lego at the end of the day. And it really does. It really throws you off. It's got to be open. So I'll say one thing. That's another thing I've noticed. Lego have really good quality bags. When I actually put the other bag, that Mega Blocks one, and I had that in there. What's in here? Did they put a box in? There's something in it. I can hear it rattling. Ah, there's a ring. Really? No, the bloody ring's got stuck. Wow. That looks like a rubber ring. Jesus, it don't even want to come out. I mean, come on. Yeah, look. So basically, it's just a little rubber ring. So that's all they've put in. So they put a little tiny rubber ring in that one box. So we put it back in there. We'll have to come back to that. So now this is what does it with Lego. Alright. It's like going back to your childhood days, isn't it? When you used to sit there and give them something to do. But you had to be Einstein to work half the bloody bits out. I mean, that's what makes me laugh with Lego. So that is a prying tool. So we are going to need that. So we'll keep that to one side. So the only way how I normally do with Lego, like all Lego, if I'm not sure on something, and I don't know how you guys do it, right? So which it doesn't tell you, because these, look, you've got multiple lengths, right? And these ain't the actual size. It has to be scaled down for the book. So what I normally do is count, right? is count the little holes on top of the Lego itself. So we've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we need a flat one again. 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is you can't, that way you'll have to, I know it's going to take longer, but then you will have a less chance of making a foo-foo trying to put it together, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, where's that bit go? I'm a bit short. No, you've put it in the wrong place. It's not supposed to go there. So, which is time consuming. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's one of these, and so this was the right bag. So again, bit confusing on the book, and we've got 2 there. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So we've got these 2, and it looks like the top piece on the book itself, which is again confusing. It looks like the top piece has to go down on the, so it looks like it's going to have to go, because it's the camera's not going to be able to pick this up, so you're going to have to put the top one piece on the back, so you've got like a lip at the end of it. So it looks like it has to be sandwiched over. That's what he's saying on there. So I'm only copying what he says. So it doesn't say what side. I mean, I suppose you can flip it. So even if you're thinking, hang on, does that go for left or right? Well, just put it on and wait to the next part, and then you'll see which direction this is going to go around. Again, Lego, not the easiest to try and navigate to make it easy. So the next piece is, and this is the only thing you do need the room to actually put these together, because obviously as you're stacking this up, you're going to start running out of room very quickly on there. So the next part is number 2. So it looks like we need 4 I don't know if we got one of them. No. Is that one of them? See again, quality. Yes. So we need 4 of these. So 4 of these ones that's got like the if I put an extra light on you guys, I don't know if you can see, you might be able to give it a little bit more extra light. So so yeah, you've got 4 of these. Yeah, this is a little bit better. I can actually see now. So you've got 4 of these with this sticking out. So we're gonna need 4 of them ones. So now I've got to find that and source them on here, which I did. So again, you start off with the big bag. Don't start off with the small bag yet, because there's 2 number 1s. It's not saying which bag you should start on. It should say big bag first, small bag second. It's not saying that. So we've got 3, and still. Do you know what? Yesterday, taking that thing apart, I got absolutely smothered. My top got smothered. It's gone all on my carpet. I've got carpet wash. I will dig it out and go over it. But it's them belts, when they degrade, they're absolutely terrible. It just makes such a mess. Right, so we now need, right, so number 2, so we've got 4 of them, so we have to put them to one side. The next part in the book, it says we need a blue piece, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 piece. So let me find a 6-piece blue piece, yeah, which is that one. It's the only blue piece in there, which is fantastic. We need one of the little caps, and we have to make something up. Right, so now it sort of makes sense of what way this makes up. So this is the reasons why. So first things first, we need to put these on. So let me pull this down so you guys can see a bit more better. So basically what we need to do on the lip side of this, what we put down on the one side on here, we have to make sure that these clip, so these are facing out. So and then we take the blue piece on that, and then we put that in the middle, and we have to put one of them blocks which it was asking for earlier. If I can find one. The joys of spring. Right, so we've got to find another one of them block ones it's got on there. Now, straight away, there's not one in here. See? So, what is that? Is that in one of these? Because I can't even see one in here. So we need one of them little blocks, separate blocks, that sits in the top part, and I can't see any. So this is what makes me think, is it in the second bag? And let's have a quick look. Yes, and they're in the second bag. So straight away, the problem that we've run into at the moment is that you're trying to search in the first bag. This is why they come with bag number 2. So it should say 1 of 2. You know, 1A and 1B, it should say. And what it should say in the book, right, is bag 1A, use these parts. Bag, and then the other parts, what they're labelling, is saying bag 1, 1B, which is then you can need to take the parts out. Otherwise, you're searching for the bloody part and you're looking for it, and I ain't got it here. It's not here, physically not here. So you've got 3s, I ain't got a 2. So I ain't going to take all these out because then I'm going to get really confused. I'll just take out what I need. So I'll look for the part, and I did see it on here. This is when you're going to need the room to actually physically put these out. Right, so the part I need, again, is this part here. So it's got bits at the top and then bits at the front, so you can clearly see. Right, so, and then basically, looking at the book, on that front, it's got to face outwards. So now, obviously, this is going to be for the ghost, the Pacman ghost, for it to sit on at the end of the day. So these has to face outwards. So when you look at the book, again, the book doesn't tell you at the end of the day. All the book says is, it just says make sure that the back is facing on the back of this. So you leave a gap. So, you know, so obviously we need another one of these again in a minute. So we'll get to that. So stage number 4, we now need a flat piece and a 3 piece. Well, I definitely did see, is there a 3 piece? No, they're not. No, there's no 3 pieces in there. So we're going to have to need, this is where this second bag comes in handy. So we need a 3 piece, and we need a 2 piece. So we've got a 2 piece and a 3 piece. This is why I didn't want to drag it all out, just in case. Oh, now I've got really confused, because you'll be searching more time for searching to looking for that one part. We've got plenty of the 3 pieces. We ain't got the 2 pieces. No, that's another 3 piece. I might have to tip some of these. Just tip them so I can get access to the ones I want. I've got to be careful here, because these pieces are extremely tiny. Ah, no, guys. Right, it's not going to be in that bag. I've just fell in. That is why in the big bag number 1, you had these pieces. So this is that was in that big bag, because now you need the little piece in here. I was looking, I think there ain't in there, and it was staring me right in front of me. So yeah, I probably wouldn't advise to try and drag all this out on the floor, because you'll lose these pieces. They are extremely tiny. So in the book, it's basically saying, at the end of the day, what we need to do is put the 3 piece at the corner, and then, yeah, 3 piece at the corner, and that. So it leaves you an existing 3 pieces. that's exposed, so it's got like a lip. Because it's dark, you can actually see it at the end of it. So now we're sort of building the layer up. So far so good. Page number 5. Right, so now it starts getting a little bit more complicated, and we ain't even got to the good stuff yet. So we are now going to need, looking at there, we're going to need in that bag 1 piece of 2, 1 piece of 3, and 1 piece of flat piece of 4. So let me grab that. So let me have a look. 1 piece of 3, which we got there. We're going to need a 1 piece of 2. Which we got, yeah. And we're going to need a flat piece of, what was it? Flat piece of 4. Now, was that in this bag? Which is not. These only deal with the small pieces. So we've got to look for a 4 flat piece. They're 6. These ones are 8. So no. Chances are it's going to be in this bag. A 4. That's 3. Wow. Ah, there you go. Right in front of me. We got 4 piece. Lovely. So right. So now what we have to do now is again the piece that's at the back, so we are facing the right way, because if you look at the front, we should have the Lego pops at the front, so that's got to be facing towards you, not at the back, because if you look at the back it's smooth. So right, we put the 2 piece at one end on the 3, and I know why they do that. It's because then the 3 overlaps the join and gives it strength, which you can now see when I put this in. So now you've got the blocks, you can actually see they're actually over, and that gives it, so you're not putting the 3 against 3, you're putting the 3 over the, the one that was half hanging over the 1 section, so it gives it a bit more strength. And then we take this and where it's joint and pull it over, so again bridges the 2. So this is why I said about needing a pry tool, because if you wanted to get that off, say for up and say, oh no, I don't want that on there, right? And this is how it's supposed to take it off. You pull it on and then it pulls it off. So you shouldn't use any of them pry tools on there. It's purely for that reason. And Lego just feels so premium. And you know it's genuine, because if you look closely right up, which you probably can't, you will see the word Lego embedded into their tiny little circle. So if it doesn't say the word Lego, you know that this is not, it's a Mega Bloks, and it's not Lego, because it may look like Lego. Lego will have their original trademark put it on their own stuff. So now I know that this is 100% genuine. So right, we're on section number 6, so we're going to need a 3 piece, which we've got. We're going to need a up piece, which is going to be in this bag. It's not going to be in amongst here. So, I mean, this is just doing number 1. We had him. All this builds up is your character, to get your character for the top of the arcade at the end of the day. So I've got to look for a stand up. I can't believe that stuff. It's still on my hands. That stuff has got literally everywhere. All I was doing last night was trying to clear all that off me, and it was unbelievable. So is that the piece? That looks like it. It is. So, right, we've got the right piece there, and we need a flat piece, which is this piece, which is cool. So looking at the book, I'm not going to show you guys, I'd love to take you through it. So you, just in case you want to put it through the stages and you ever think about doing one yourself. So what we need to do, oh, well, it tells you need another one of them. Right, let me grab another one of them, of this standoff. It says you've got to have 2, you can't have 1. Right. Start going through. Yeah, got one there. Lovely. So, right, 2 of these. So one has to be facing one has to be facing the front. So when you put this in, the front, you'll have a gap, and if you have a look, so you can actually see, you should have a gap and then the bit on there, and this one should be facing towards this one. So basically you can actually see it, you should have like an L shape at the end of the day, and then this sits on top on that builds this up. That piece then sits here. So this is now, you should start seeing a shape start being formed where the Pacman and the Ghost start to sit, because you can alter them around. This is the general idea. So what we need for page 7 now, because we're on section 7, we have a look, we're up to here. So we're going to need a 1 of 2 and 1 of 3. 1 of 2 and 1 of 3. So again, let's have a look. We've got a 1 of 3, and the 1 of 2s are going to be in there. They won't be in that one. Right, 1 of 2 and 1 of 3. So looking at this, it looks like we're going to have to put, yes, 1 of 3 goes on top of the thing, so you can actually see. So now you've created that L shape and there's nothing above it, and the 2 again sits on top, so it's like a wall, so it won't come off. And again, you've got a nice structure of putting this, so you've got all of that putting it together, so that's good. So we're on section 8. It's actually gone through quite quick, I was surprised. So what we need in section 8, we need 2 of 3 and 1 of an L of 3. So the L of 3, if we got an L of 3, and what was it? 1 of 3, and these will be flat. Are they both flat? They won't be in there. They're going to be in here, unless they're in that section. No, they're not, because they're small pieces. So the chances are, right, we need 1 of them, which we got 1 of 3, and we got a flat of, is that flat of 2? Flat of 3. Flat of 3. God. Flat of 3. There you go. So yeah, I think it's a sensible made to actually do it this way, because that way you're not going to lose any of the parts actually trying to go onto it. So yeah, so looking at the back at the book, so we've got the one, we've got these, which we don't need at the minute. So we've got, oh, you need 2 of them. Oh, I misread it. So it looks like you need 2 of the flats and 1 of them, because it looks like, you know, you've got to make something else up. So, I've got the flat of 3. Oh, is that it? That looks, no, that's 4. 3, 3. There you go. Flat of 3. I just don't want any of these bits rolling off onto the floor, and then I think, oh, that's it. We've now lost it. So, right, we don't need this again at the minute, because what we need to do is we've got to build something else now. So we put that to one side for a minute, and we put that up there. So it looks like, and the way I angle it is I'll follow it on the book, so it looks like it's pointing like an arrow, because that's what it's saying on there. And then you work this side, so the flat piece goes on one side. Right, so that's 1 on there, and again 1 on top. Don't know why they've done it like that, I don't know, but they must have had reason for it. Right, that's that section done. So we've now got one side that actually looks higher than the other side, and you can clearly see on that front. So we'll leave it like the arrow. The next bit we're going to need is small pieces. So we need a small grey, looks like a fist, like a little ball thing, one of these. So you can actually see on that front. So I need one of them, and I need, now this is where you're going to need this, some of this small, in this small bag now, because it looks like you're taking bits out of there. So we need one of them and one of the blocks that with the blocks facing forward, which again, if you can find one, good luck. No, that one's got an hole in it, can't use that. No, that one's flat. No, flat, flat. Wow. Ah, found it. Found it. There you go. Yeah, they are all in here. You just need to, you've got to do just a little bit of research and just be, you know, 100%, and just be careful where you put these in. So what, first things first, it looks like where I've put that back as an arrow, I've got to put that on top of the two that I've just put on, so now it pops up, and we need to face the piece that's actually facing the front, that's got the Lego, and you can clearly see, so the bits, that doesn't face at the back, that has to face at the front. By looking at that book, it says face at the front, and we need to push right in that corner, is put the little fist thing and poke it through, so it doesn't come through the other side, it can only go so far. So it looks like it has to go like that, like so. You've got one side built up more than the other at the end of the day. So you've got this side's flat and you've got a little lip. So far so good. So let's move on to the next part, which is number 10. So because this makes sense, you have to build one side up to put onto the other side, and this is what they end up doing at the end of it. So yeah, and just be careful when you're doing this. Try and preferably work on a big table and just limit for how many bits you put out, because you've only got some of these pieces are so small. If you've got, like me, I've got brown carpet, dark brown carpet, and if you lose it, you're going to have a really hard job trying to find a part. So looking at the book, it looks like we're going to need one of each item in here now. So again, this bag, what we're going to need is, I just see it a minute ago, where is it? So we need one of these that's facing the front, not a flat one, so you can actually see. You guys can clearly see it, if I can see it. So you can see it's got like a flat bit on the front and a bit at the top. So we need one of them. We need one of 4 flat. No, that's an L. Yeah, we got one of 4. Brilliant. And we need one of them cubes, but without the bit at the front. There's still a hell of a lot of bits in there, but just like I said, this wasn't going to be like a 5-minute sort of put together. Right, so I found one. Right, so we've got some in there, which is great. So what we need to do next, we need to take this piece that we put together, and now I'm going to have to start building this up. So we've got, oh, and one that's got a hole in. I did see one of them. It's saying you need one with a hole in it, a little square one with a hole in. I did see one of them in there. And it is just a black one, so no, that one's got 2. Wow. No, that one's, I might have to pull some of these out because I can't physically see. Just want to be careful. It's saying that the one, you've got a single one there with a hole in. Did I just drop one on the floor? No. This is what it's saying about extra careful. Not in there. No. Well, I can't see. See, this is what I'm saying about finding bits that you're trying to match what they're saying, and then you're thinking, right, well, where is it? Did you drop it on the floor? This is what gets you paranoid, because I felt something, I don't know if I felt something drop on the floor. It could have just been my foot, but let me just double check, make sure nothing did drop on the floor. No, it didn't. The last thing I don't want to end up doing is hoovering something up. And it was a bit of Lego. I mean, it's not a problem, I can ring them up, but you know, here it is. So we've got it. No, is that it? No, that's not it. I thought that was, because it has Lego on it. Right. So now I've pulled them all out, because I'm trying to look for that one single piece that's got an hole in. We've got some there that's got like you've got two there with a hole, but not with one piece on there, which is I was really surprised. That's not seemed to be in there. Ah, and it had, I think it had to be in that one, didn't it? I think it did. I think it's in there. So it's not in this one. So I mean, it's like you said, none of these are telling you what bags these are in. So I'm going to have to pull this bag. You're going to have to end up taking some of these out anyway. But I don't, these are the small pieces, you tend to going to lose them very quickly, which I don't really fancy my odds. Right, so we still need some bits on there. So we need one of the blocks, yeah. We need one of them, yeah. One of them. No, hold up, no, that's wrong. So that one's wrong, because the other one's got to have a hole in it. So they're right. The other one was wrong. So here it is. We've got it. So it's actually physically the one with a hole in the front, so you can actually see. So it was in that small bag. Yeah, right. This is what I said about how do you expect a kid to put this together, unless you're Einstein, to try and work it out. So again, it said keep the orientation how you've got it, so you'll know where to put this. So the one with the hole's got a face where this grey sort of hole thing is. So the hole is facing towards it, which I have. Right. Which I've done, yeah, lovely. And the one that's next to it, that goes next to it. And then the one on top, that actually it's moved over, so it hangs over, so you can actually see it hang over, hopefully, on that front. So yeah, that's that part. Right, number 11. Right, so we're on number 11 before we turn over. We need a 3-part. Let's see if there's a 3-part. Yep, there is. We need a 1-part 2, which is going to be in this bag. No, that one's got a hole in it. We don't use that one. That's it. One with that in, and a flat piece of 3. I just see one of them. There it is. Flat part of 3. So again, we are not using this part, so we put that to one side. We're still working on this one piece, what we're gradually building up. So it looks like, again, the orientation now, the knob bit is facing it, so we have to keep it pointed in and not pointed out. So we need to put the flat piece on top of that 4, so it creates a little lip at the end of the day. Yeah, that looks, is that right? No, it's not. See, that's wrong. So let's take the tool, take it off. That tool is really handy to have. So it looks like we need to put the big piece on top and then that on top of that, which makes sense. And this one has to be set. Oh no, so that one was wrong. It had to have a piece facing with the two bits sticking out, which is one of them. So it wasn't a flat piece, it was bits that was looking at. So you've got like two pieces on that front, so you can actually see it. So yeah, this has to be facing inwards towards where that grey knob is, so the bits are actually, so it's above it. So now that looks like that's exactly how that's fitted, so, which is right. We should have one bit sticking out. Page 16. This year's gone quite quickly. So again, we still looks like we're working on this still. So this looks like there's going to be a gearing mechanism that's going to be sitting on here. So, and that's where that little elastic band will come in very shortly on section 14. We're on section 12. So we're going to need one flat on that corner, which is one of these, which is great. Oh, two. Sorry, is it two? Two. We need two of them. Right. Because each bag of these are going to do one section of the arcade when it's all done. So we need two of them. Now, looking at the book, right, let's put the pry tool over. Looking at the on the top of here, where it looks like we still need to work on the inside of this. So it looks like these two L bits just sit on top of each other. That's all it does. Pry them on top. Good. Right, now we're going to need that O-ring. Right, for some reason. Looks like we need that little O-ring out from that box, because that's the next part. So we take the little O-ring. Now this is going to be interesting, because this is where you might need a small pair of tweezers. Which, lucky enough, I have. I'm going to need my tweezers on this one. So it looks like the section we need to work at now is that this hooks over. I'm still getting that bloody bitumen all on my hands, and I don't even know where it's all coming from. I think it's on them. It is. It's on them pliers. Oh, for crying out loud! Well, how am I still getting it on my hands? It's that belt where it disintegrated. It was absolutely a nightmare. It was just like bitumen. It was. Look, it's all on the rubber. Oh, for bloody hell! It's actually smeared all the belt up. That's better. Right, anyway, so it looks like you're going to have to hook. So it looks like it has to sit like that. Right, so if I zoom in more, you can actually see it. You have to just, so it just sits over on the section of the hook of the little circle. So it gives it that perfect round ring. So it looks like it's where it's sitting. Well, that's that section done. So we can move on to number 14, because we're still working on this at the end of it. So put them back, don't need them. So now it looks like we're going to need multiple parts for the next one. So do we need these bits on? Because I can see the tiny Pacmans. There's all tiny Pacmans sitting on here. So I don't think we do. I think we need them out of here, because looking at it, it's grey, and we need, yes, so it's going to be one of these. So we need one of them. Now there's a segregated piece. Ain't under the book, is it? Yes, it is. So it's under the book. we need one of these. It's like a track. So it's got like a track thing. And then we need a small piece with a bloody no, you're having a laugh, you. Right, I don't know if that's going to be in there. It looks like a piece with a pivot. Don't know if it's going to be in that one. Yeah, there it is. It's there. So we need one of these at the end of the day. Right, there's the other piece. I need it. Got to take bits from one to the other, so we need one of them, or like a little cup, yeah, and we need a little red one, a coupling, which is one of these. So again, one of these little tiny red ones at the end of it. Right. Oh, two of them. Sorry, didn't see it. Says you need a second one. So two little red ones. So the pieces that you're going to need are these. So to actually move them, you know, to build the next pieces. So these looks like the correct pieces you need to actually build it. So right, it looks like we need to put this piece has to clip into this piece, but now we need to get the orientation right. So it looks like we have to have a 2 facing this direction, and it looks like it has to be facing, so they're both facing up, so the holes are facing upwards, not down, right, or side or anything. So, you know, getting the correct orientation. These then pop into top like so, so you can actually see it. And then we need to take this, right, where's that going? So where's that sit? That sits on top. Hold up. So that sits, yeah, that sits on top. Number 3 then with the, oh, you need a little, one of them little things, you know, one of them little dong things. It's just seen it on there. It says, where is it? You need one of them as well. So I've got to look for one of them. Ain't under the book because they won't have the small pieces. They'd be the tiny small pieces, and it's going to be in a small bag. There it is. It's one of them. This is what I said. You have to look really closely at the instructions, which is vital. So you're going to need one of these. I'm still getting it all on my hands. Jesus, I can't seem to get rid of this stuff. Everything I seem to be touching, it just makes a mess of it. Right, so looking at the book, which I'm up here, it's telling me that I've got to point it upwards. Right, so looking at that, that's how it should be. So you have the 2 at the bit, 1 at the bottom. Now you need to put that piece on top, which is like that. So now you've got a segregated piece and the piece at the bottom, 100%. And then what we need to do is then use this guiding pin that's got to guide through this hole, so it's like that, and then that guide pin goes through is that how it goes? It looks like it. Right, and that's interesting because the ball actually guides through, so it looks like it's twisted at a figure of 8. So this is why it was important, because when you press it, it springs back. You can see the resistance. So this is why you have to get the correct orientation to make sure this is critically right. So yeah, that's interesting. So this piece is now done. Now the second piece because it tells you in the next part of make sure that it gives you like a twisted look, and that's exactly how that's set. So looking at this piece now, we now take this existing piece and we now mount it on the opposite side, which then should sit quite firmly like that, so it snaps. So when you look at the book and you're facing the front, it is now all, this is where the Pacman sits, so you can twist, and you can sort of twist it only for a little bit, but you can't go too mad because it'll only go so far anyway. So that's good. That's all put together. So the next part we're going to need is 3 flat and 1 of the front. We're not going to have any of them. They're not going to be there. So right, small pieces are going to be 3 of the 2. I need 3 of the 2 of these flat ones. So it's 1, 2, 3. And we need 1 of the so we need 1 of them, which is facing a hole, as you can clearly see. So we've now got the right pieces that we need on that. So what first things first, we need to make, so we've got the 3 pieces, so we put 1 on top of each other, so it pulls it like a short brick. Then we take that salt type and put that then underneath that hole, hires it up, and you take the top part and put it on top, and that's what it says here. So hopefully that, and then you take and put it, it doesn't matter what orientation you put this in, because these holes are both beveled in both directions, so it ain't going to make no difference. So what we need to do is put that into the hole, and it's now ready, so it's all nice and flush. So we've got all that, so it looks like something else has to poke through at the end of the day. Right, this page done, page 17's done. So on section 18, so looking at section 18, right, we're going to need 1 of 4. We got 1 of 4 on there? No, got 1 of 3, not 1 of 4. That's going to be in here then, isn't it? 1 of 4. There's 1 of 4. So it looks like we are concentrating on this. So this bar top should sit where the ghosts are. So we need 1 of 4. 2 of the corners. Now, did I just see we have 2 of the corners, 2 of the corners, and 1 of the little tiny cubes. 2 of them. Looks like 2 of the corner cubes. Is it the 2 of the little small ones by themselves? Yeah, 2. Easier said than done. Trying to find them is a different matter. Right, we've got 1 there. We've got 2 there. Right, good. Okay. Brilliant. So looking at this now, on that, so it looks like again we're building this up now at the end of the day. So we're going to take the 1, put it straight over the centre. That binds, strengthens that middle piece. You can actually see it. And then we're going to take 2 of the corners and put them on the corners. 1 there and 1 there. And then the other pieces, 1 on each corner. Oh, that's easy enough. So now we've raised that and we strengthened it at the same time. So, you know, we've got that. So that was actually quite straightforward. Now the second part is going to be a little bit different. We need 2 of the 2 pieces, which are not going to be there because they're 3. So they're going to be on there. 2 of the 2s. So we've got 2 of the flat ones, the bits without sticking out. We've got another one there, so there's 2. We need 1 of 3. Now, the 1 of 3s are going to be in a big bag, which I've got underneath my book. Be fine. And 1 of the flat ones with the pointed bits. So it looks like we've got some, because there's 2 different types of these. So yeah, bear with that when you're looking for that piece. So let me try and have a look, see if they've got one in there. Yes. So there's 2 versions of these, right? You look at it, they both look identical, right? But they're not. They're actually different, completely different. So don't run away with the idea, because you've got some there that actually look, you know, you've got some there with like a flat piece and another piece with that. So yeah, make sure you get the right one when you're putting these in. So we need this one. Looking at that, so now we're building this back up again. So we're going to take this, put the flat piece, looks like the flat piece is going to be sitting sitting like that. That's it. So the flat piece will be sitting, so you can see it's overhanging, and we need to put 2 of the pieces to side by side of each other like that, which is good. Oh, you needed 2 of them, 2 of the 3s. Would make sense, because I thought, well, why have they done that? 1 that side and 1 that side. So then we end up having this sort of orientation. So it's all flush. So you've got bits down the side, the rest are flush, and you just got that, obviously, because of the way that works. Right, section 20. So we need 1 of 4 now. They start getting a little bit bigger. And we ain't got no sections of 4 by themselves, because they're still 3s. So in that big bag, they're all 3s on that front. So they're going to be in this big bag, which they are. So we're going to need 1 of the 4s. Then we need a corner. Right, is that one of them corners? Let's check. I think it looks like it. It is. Oh, 2 of them. Need 2 of them corners. Of the funny corner ones. Right, so the big corners. And we need 2 of the, again, plain corners. The separate ones. Which we should have in this bag. We don't want bits, we don't want ones that have got bits on the front, because that's not what it's asking for. These should be plain cornered ones. So you know, you've only got small corners on this, you know, one bit at the top and smooth at the sides. So we need 2 of them. So we've got that, and so the section where we're at the moment, I'm going to move the book down, I can show you. So we're at this section, so it's sort of guide, because it don't tell you where to put it. You just got to look at the picture and then guide you through it that way at the end of the day. So again, long piece of the 4 in the centre, that's to strengthen it. You'll have your corners, corner, corner, and then you'll have your separate bits on top. So now, obviously, we've got a nice centre piece at the top. Now it's overhanging, which is great. So we still ain't finished yet, because we're trying to build this up. So it looks like now we're going to need these big chunky corners, which I have got there, which are these things. These are the corners of what they're asking for. So we'll have 2 of them. Now, earlier on when I said about these pieces, now it looks like we need 1 of them and a grey piece this time. A grey piece. Now, yes, there is a grey piece. So it looks like we need one of these ones with a hole. It's got a hole in the centre and it's grey, which it has, which is fantastic. So let's see how they put these together. So these are going to go in the corner like that, like that, and we're going to put, oh no, that was the wrong piece. See what I mean? I was wrong. This is what I said to you about it. I wanted another one of them other ones that looked like it, that threw me right off, because it's got to have the thing sitting on top of it. So I'm going to have to search another one of them. That might be under here, because there's more than one. So we've got that piece underneath there. That's sitting under there. Right, so is there any more of them piece, that flat piece? I don't think so. I can't seem to find it. So, because looking at it, oh no, that was. So that sits on top, and that sits, right, I see. So basically, that sits on top. There's only one piece. That sits on top, and this piece sits on top of it. So it looks like it was. So that's how it goes. And that's actually quite confusing, because I was trying to look for that, and I'm going, well, where's that piece go? Right, anyway, I figured it out. Because again, you're trying to follow the guide, and the guide can be a little bit off-putting. So we need one of 4, which is one of them. We need one on the corners, and one of the 2s, the plain 2s. No. Plain 2s. No, that's not a plain 2. That's a plain 2. Right. Plain 2. And again, so we're going to put this on. Oh, that Lego, it's not sitting right down. Right. So we are make sure that these are sitting snug, otherwise it won't sit. So we need to put the 4 over the top at the end of the day. And where do we put that corner one? We put a corner one on there, and one on that corner. So you should have 2 pieces at one end and 1 free at the corner, which you can, I don't know if you can see that because the camera can't pick it up. There you go. So that's how it should sit. So on this side, hopefully. So we're putting that on there. Right, page 20. How many bloody pages has this got? Oh my god, you are kidding me. Catalogue. 333 pages. Yeah, this is for reasons why I'm thinking that I might need to, you know, do these in separate parts and then go for it from there at the end of the day. Otherwise, this is going to be a very long video and it can tire out very quickly. So, I think what we do, I'll do these in stages, because this is bag 1. I'm going to do each stage through, I think I'll do each stream through like bag 2, because looking at bag 2, then you can take it through that way and then it'll make it easier, because then you can go through it. Instead of doing one long video, I think that might be a sensible move at the end of it. So I'll probably end up going down that route. So it looks like I'm on page 20 and we need 2 of the plain 2s, because we're still building it up. I mean, I don't know how much more they're going to keep building it up. That's quite surprising. So we need one of them, one of the 2s, another, no, that's not a 2, another one of the plain 2. Yeah, we need one of the 3. Now the 3's were underneath, which it is. One of the 3 underneath. I'm still getting that ink. I don't know where it's all coming from. I mean, I've wiped all this. I mean, it was bad enough last night when I tried. It was all on me top, and it was literally, it made a mess. It literally did make, it made such a mess. It's all, half it's on my carpet. Now, it's all for the sake of that belt disintegrated, and it goes like black tar. It's absolutely nasty stuff. And we need 3 of, now I just see them. They're like a tower with a bit sticking out. Yeah, it is. So we need 3 of these. So they look like a cube, but standing up with the 2 bits sticking out. So we need 3 of them. So we need 2 more. There's another one. Lovely. 1 more. 1 more for 1 more. We got 3 for 3. Brilliant. So what we need to do, looking at the picture, is that where we need to put these now. So it looks like I need to put, looks like we're going to have to build this up. So the one of 3 goes on this side, on that front, which it does, and the ones on these stand up, the ones that's got the bits standing up on there, right? What we need to do is put them so they're facing, basically, so they're standing up next to each other. It's probably this is another reason why. So you've got like a little bit of a lip, one's just a little bit down on from the other one, from the other side, so you can actually see it. So putting that in, and then we need the remaining one to go on the front, so it's facing on that front, which is great. And now we need to build this up, so we need 1 on that side and 1 on that side. So this is how it should be built up. So you can clearly see 1 at the front, so you've got these 2 at the sides, and we've put 1 at there, and you should have a notch, which is great. It's telling you right. So number 24, we need 1 flat of 2 and 1 flat of 1. So 1 flat of 2 is going to be in the small bags, and 1 flat of 1 are going to be in the small bag, which it is. It's right there. So the 1 flat of 2, I know why they've done that, is to build it up. So now this sits flush, which it did, because before it had like a little bit of a lip, which you can clearly see. So now it's sitting flush, and then the same on the top. So now it sits flush. So you ain't got no issues there at the end of it. So looking at that, we're now on section 25, and we need quite a few bits to build this up. I mean, this is quite big so far on that front. I mean, it don't look, but it is. It's, I mean, comparing it's built from the ground up on that front. So we need, what do we need? Two of the flat 2s. Let's put that aside from it, not near the 2 of the flat 2s. 1, flat 2 there, lovely. We need 1 of the 3, no, 2 of the 3s. So we've got 2 of the 3s, which is underneath, lovely. 1 of the ones that's got the hole in, of the 2, which I've got, lovely. And we have 3 of the flat, so that's going to be in the tiny bag of the flat ones. So we need 1 of 2 there, 2 of 2, and 3 of 3. So, right, so now what we need to do is now we've got to build this up. So we look like we have a flat at the bottom, which we do, which we put that on there. So you can clearly see it's got the hole. We put 2 on top of each other. So now we build this section up, so you can clearly see. Right, great. Which we have. Now that goes into that hole. That should then bring that over. right? So now we need to put these parts in, which then will bring it flush. So it looks like one of two goes on, the 2 of 2 goes on top of the side there, and it'll be this. Would it be the same with that? No. The 3 of 3 goes over, so it overlaps the brick, right? So it's got to overlap the brick, which then binds it in, and then you put the 2 of 2 over that, then bridges that. It gives it its strength and its agility. So you can clearly see we've got a hole there on that front. So that's actually quite good. Right, so we're on chapter 26 already. So we need, again, small bag. It looks like we can need a long one this time, which is going to be one of these. Yep, it is one of the, how many is that? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to need one thin strip of 8 and 2 of the flat 2s. So we need one of them and one of them. So now this is where it all starts to go over. So the 1 out of 8 literally bridges all of the top. So it literally just binds all the way over. And then you just put the other 2 on either side, which is now done. It's now, that's actually quite easy to do. Right, page 22. Again, looks like you're going to need another. What do we need? One of the 8s, the flat 8s. Not the flat, the one that's got raised, the raised bumps. We need one of them. And again, we need one of these, looks like, of the upside down that's inverted on the slope. Right. Now it looks like we're now going to be finishing the top part. We're going to be finishing the top part of this. So this looks like now it's going to be the roof. So it looks like we're coming up to not far from the end of this one part that we're building. So it looks like I've got to put this inverted on these 2 right in the centre of the 8. So you should have 3 each side, which we do. We have 3 each side. It's actually quite simple enough to do. Right, now we need again 2 of them corners, which I did see of the corners. We've got the corners there. We need to put the corners on the corner over, so it overhangs. So we've created this sort of environment. So it's got, like, you know, it's all sitting nice and spacely, and this is how it sits. So we've created that. Now we need 2 of the flat number 2s, which again, in the end, you shouldn't have any components left over. Shouldn't. You should use everything out the bag, what it states at the end of it. So, underneath, again, same thing, on the corners. So it just builds the corner up. And that's all he's doing. He just built it up by putting the flat pieces in. Now we're on section 30, which we need 2 of the 4s. Now there ain't going to be any 4s under here. No, they're not. Still, I've only got 2 of them, so they're going to be in a big bag. 2 of the 4s, lovely. Because I'm now on this side, and 2 of the flat 2s. Jesus, I've used a lot of them flat ones. They're now coming up to now, there's hardly any left, which that should be about right at the end of the day. So what we need to do now, we're building these up. So what we're doing is putting these 2 on top. So we've created one long one on top of here, and then these 2 literally will be sitting on the sides. So the way we've got it, we put on, you can actually, I don't know if you can see it on the camera because I can't pick it up. So yeah, I can see it from here. So we put it so it's over, you know, one sits on top, so it looks like an armchair, basically. Right, so we're going to need one of them grey ones again. Right, we're going to need one of the flat ones, which we've got there. Now, the slope one, not the inverted slope. We're going to need two of the three, which I did see, two of the three. Yeah, there's actually two more, and then that's it, they're out, right? So, two of them, one of the small ones, which are going to be on here. Oh, two, sorry. Two of them, it's asking for. Yeah, we've got two of them, and one of the little cube by itself. It should be no, that's not the one. There it is. We've got one of them. Right, so what we need to do, we need to build, obviously, we take the cube, one of the cubes, and put it onto, we need to sandwich it. So what we need to do is make a sandwich so it stands it up. So basically, this is how we make it. So that was that single cube, and now we've made one that's literally standing up by itself. It's not sitting straight because these are tiny, tiny. I mean, I'm fussy. I like to make sure it's all nice and straight, ruler straight. That's it, like that. And then what we need to do, we need to put that then on the side, facing this side. So now you can clearly see stands up on that front. So what we need to do next then is take the three and put onto one corner. We need to take, again, the same thing, the grey cube that sits on the grey one with the hole in, you can clearly see, and we need to make sure that the slope sits on top of it. So basically you can see it's sitting on top, and then the other one at the end of it is literally sits on the other side. So we leave this side blank. That's what it says. That's what it says on that one, which is right. So that's that section. The next part's going to be on section 32. We need two of the cubes standing up. That's going to be in this bag. Now I did see two of them cubes with the little holes. Clearly see. So I need two of them. Because it makes it easier then, because you're looking now, you're coming across all the parts, because there's getting less of them, because you're putting it all together. So we need two of them, and them two sit on that side, facing outwards. So that's it, that's what we do. That's that section done. Now we need flat threes, so it's going to be in this bag again. We got two flat threes, so one there and one there. That's all we need. Oh, four of them, is it? Oh wow, yeah, it's saying four. So right, okay. Well, that's three, and there's four. Okay, fair enough. That's all he's asking. So what we do, we just put these round. That's all we do. So that is really quite straightforward to do. So that's just to bind them all together, actually. Now the other one, hold up, so no, I think one of them is wrong. Let me take that top prying tool off. I must have misread that, because it's saying you need three and I only done two. Right, that's interesting. And they don't both face out. One faces the front. So I need another one facing the front. So I must have misread that, what that said, because like I said, this is confusing. So this is reasons why. Double check your work. So let me find another corner, he says. That's what, yeah, because it's saying on there you need 3 of them, and I must have read it. I must have thought, oh, you only need 2. It wasn't. You need 3. Yeah, right. There you go. That's that one there. So basically, I need to put the facing one on there. Now it's right. Because now, looking at the picture, these now should all sit on top of each other, and it sits flush. And it does. It does sit flush. So we're copying the picture like for like. Yeah, so you've got to make sure one's facing in, right? And the other one is facing outwards. So this is how it's sitting. So that's that, which is good, because that was a little bit confusing on there. Because again, reading that, I must have misread it. Alright. So we're up to this chapter in the book, right in the corner. I'm up here now. So we're at page 24. And this is still working on bag number 1. Goes to show how big Lego really is. It's not for the faint-hearted at the end of the day. I'm going to move number 2 out of the way, because we won't leave number 2 just yet at the end of the day. So, because you shouldn't be left with any parts out of these bags. They should be empty, fully empty. So we're going to need 2 corners, which we have. 2 corners. Lovely. We bring that back round so I can show you guys. So I've got 2 corners here at the end of it, and we've got a flat 4. Now that's going to be in that bag. What, 1? Yeah, 1 flat 4. Yeah, and 2 of the little tiny corners. 1. 2. Nice. I think that's the last of them corners, because there ain't no more after that. Right, so what we need to do next then is then start building this up. So we're going to put the 4 across in the centre. Alright, 4 across in the centre. We need the corners to go on the corners. So again, we're building this. It looks like we're building this up again. And we put these little small ones right on the corner. And that. So yeah, that's how we built it up. So it looks like that. So, which is great. So we're now looking at number 5. So we need 2 of the 2s. 1. 2s. They ain't got no holes in. No, that's good. 2 of the 3s, and I think that is the last of these now. That is the last of them. There is no more of the 3s. And 1 flat 2 with a hole in. And there is. Right, brilliant. 2 of 2 of that and the hole. Right, so the hole goes in the centre of the thing. So it looks like that, which is great. The 3s go on the corners. That bridges over the others, which it does. Perfect. And the 2s go at the side. So we now have a hole right at the top, and then 1 at the bottom, which it does. Right, so again, we need corners, which there is. How many corners? It says 2. I've only got 1. 1 a corner. Oh no, there's another one in that bag. So we've got 2 of the corners, 1 of the 4s, which again are going to be in that bag. Lovely. And 2 of the ones, the little corners with them notches sticking out, which I did see. That's one of them. It's a lot easier to find now because now there's getting a lot less parts in the bag, and it makes sense at the end of the day. So the way I'm looking at it, the little corner ones with the bit sticking out has to face the front, so then it's in parallel line with all the others, you can see. So I'm going to do that first, make sure these are sticking out. The centre over that bridge looks like you have to put the brick over that. That again gives it agility, gives it strength, which it does, and then the corners just go on the corners. So it's actually quite good. So now that's done. Great. Now it looks like, bloody hell, we're nearly enough coming up to the top of this roof, and I'd say thank God that, because that looks like it does need it at the end of the day. So we need 1 flat 2, which is going to be in here, because these are the small bits. It really don't tell you in that book. Then we need 1 of the 2, which we've got, yeah, 1 of that, and 1 flat 4, yeah, we've got 1 more of them, and then that's it, we're at. And 2 of the cream coloured ones with the holes in, which it does. So, right, that's interesting. So the cream ones now have to sit at this side, facing, with the bit facing out. So it looks like we're going to have to put them on the corner like that, and then the small piece goes on top, bridges them. That gives it its strength. Then it looks like, oh, we needed 2 of the flat 4s, and there was another one in there. Again, I misread it. Don't matter, because it's there, I've got it. So that then bridges that all the way across, and then just 2 just goes on top on the other side. So now it looks like now you're seeing these facing the front, and it's all bridged over the top, and then we've got 1 at the side, so which is plain, fine. So yeah, that's all good. So now we need 1 of these, so 1 of the flat 8s, 2, 4, 6, 8. We need 1 of them and 1 flat of the 8 separate, which we have. 1 of them. Now this is where it starts to come in handy, because we're putting the flat of the 2 of the 8s goes on the back. Oh, hold up a minute. No, something's not right there, because it's not sitting straight. So what's gone on wrong here? Ah, right, I've done that wrong. So the flat 2 has to sit at the front. That's it. So you know when I was saying to you about the flat 2, that has to sit on the front of them cream coloured ones, and then that sits on top, because it wasn't sitting flush, which it does. It sits flush, which is fantastic at the end of the day. So on that front, and then this one sits on top, which it does. It does sit on top of like that. Now it looks like now we're coming up to the flush side, which we did have. I need a flush of the 8, which we have, and we need 2 of the flush 8s, of the flush 6s, which I've got right here. So right, so we need to now inverse that now, put the single flush on the double, and now put these together. Actually, they're not big enough, are they? No, they're not. They're not big enough. It's not them ones, so they've got to be underneath here. Yes, they are. These are the 8s. So there's 4 there and 4 there. There you go. Put it on the right side, and that's how it's done. So that's how it's facing. That's how it's finished. Good. yeah, facing that, and it does, which is great. So now we put this now all together. So we now stack all this up. So we're now putting this on top of each other. This is how it now sits. It sits like that, which is great. Yep. So that's actually quite good. So this section we're going to need now is number 41, because obviously we've got some bits on the side here. Obviously this must be important, so where we're looking, but we've got to face the back end of these. So what we need to do, we now need to reverse this and keep it this side. So this side here is facing away to you, not facing towards you. So we need these sides now, and we need to build this side up. And this is what this book is saying. Basically, make sure it's facing away from you, not towards you. Basically, so now we need to take the really long strips of the 16s. Which, did we have any more? How many have we got? No. It looks like you've only got one of them, and then you should have, looks like that, we should have another one. Are they? Oh, here it is. So it's one of them and one of these, right? Because again, it tells you one of these, and we need 3 of the strips, which is of these ones, right? So we need 3 of them, which it is 3. So we need to put the long one at the where this is pointing, right, where that little notch is sticking out. We need to put that all the way to the top, right? So now it's overhanging, and it does. It bites on them points, which it does. That's perfect. The short one's on there. That's 3. That's 8 on one side. Again. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't move it up one. Sorry, my mistake. Let me move it up one. Hopefully, I didn't. It's not moved up, so that is the reasons why. It should not be overhanging. That's it. So we take the 4 and move it. That doesn't make sense with this. So let me take this off. Right. Yes. So something's not right with this bit, because if that's raised too much, it throws it off. But looking at that was right for how I put that on. Because it says on there, you're supposed to sit that where it's flush. But if it's sitting flush, it's raised. Then it don't sit flush at this side, because then this doesn't go on. Because that's exactly what's happening. Which it doesn't. And it's not showing you on here. So something's not right between that page and this page. It seems to be throwing off because of that. And for that only, because like you said, the time you put these strips, these caps on it here, these are supposed to, and it's not. We've got the same problem, so it can't go down. That doesn't make, see, that's not making any sense whatsoever. So I don't quite understand why they've done that, because then this sits flush and that sits flush, but then there's nothing for this to sit on, unless I misread it and it was 2 of the singles, but it's not saying that, because the way looking at this camera, alright, on there, when you're putting these bits on, see, this is what really throws it off. When you're going, I've got two of the singles on there, and it purely states that you need a single, a two single, and that sits at the front, and then that faces away. Which is weird, because on that it looks like you have to build that up round there, and but that won't sit right, because that would raise that up, and then this wouldn't sit flush, which is confusing. So this book doesn't seem to make any sense whatsoever on that front, and it doesn't really show you. Just looking at that page there and this page, let's have a look at the next page, see if it shows me at the front at the end of the day. So yeah, see, because looking at the front, yeah, something's not right. Something's definitely not right here, because like you said, you would have had a biting point for this to sit at, and if that was sitting there, that's obviously raised too much. And then, you know, obviously then you can't fit the side bits, because there's nothing for it to bite on. I mean, I have there, but there won't be nothing there, see? There's nothing there on that front. That doesn't really make any sense to me, because if that goes on, that's raised out too much, then I can't use it. There ain't no other part for that to go on, so I've followed it exactly how it says on the guide, and oh god, this thing won't stop pinging. Let's have a look. It's all bloody orders. No, right. Yeah, there ain't no more in there, so that's really confused me, because how the heck do I end up putting that part on if there's nothing there for it to bite? You know, like I said, I could put one side on, one side will go on there, even if you put it the other side, it wouldn't make no difference, but I've got nothing for it to go on to the other bit. You know, that's a completely weird scenario, because if it sticks up too much, then it's not sitting flush. It's raised, and that don't look right. It's not right. So this has all got to sit flush. So that is completely threw me out on that front, because I've followed every guide that he said, and I've done it correctly, but that's not making any sense on that front, because like you said, why have they done that? And I can't seem to move on without this one part, because if I put that on, this don't sit straight. And to be honest, it don't even sit on there at all. So what the hell is going on there? At the end of the day, I haven't got a clue. It's actually misaligned, and it's not sitting straight, and this has got to sit flush. So I don't know. I'm really baffled. We ain't got no other bits for that sitting, like a block or two or anything like that. There's nothing to put in its place. Even if I took that out, and put one in its place, it'd still be in the same boat. It's still raised, which is not going to help the situation. Even though that's gone on, that's not sitting straight. So you can't use that. You just can't use it. is weird. It's the only thing with Lego. It's really, really confusing on this situation on that front, because you expect it to be, like you said, Lego are pretty good on that front where they're making things where they do fit. But this book is, it's like, you know, you're going back, you're trying to go back to the basics, and you're trying to, because if a kid was trying to work this out, because the problem is right here. At the end of the day, it tells you need to, and it tells you they've got to be facing outwards, not inwards. But the time I put on the top, so if I took these back off, look, I'll show you what I mean. Right, it says on there, you need two of the fours, which I've got, one of the two, and one flat of the two, which I've got, which was on, where is it? It was on that other one, wasn't it? Yeah, it's underneath there. Oh, they've come out of the bag. So that's what I'm saying about losing parts. You have to be so careful. It's alright, there's not many left in that bag. But what I'm saying is, one flat of the two. So that one flat of the two, it looks like it's saying that you've got to put them at the front, which at the end of the, so it's saying face it at the front, which is on his side. So which is really weird, because like you said, but on the book looks like it's saying you need one at the top, but on there it only gives you the one part. What? And then, you know, that's how you build it up. So once you made that roof section up, which that's what I've done, I've made this flat section up, it sits flush, which it does. It does sit flush. But that one part, which that's what I've done, and I've followed that at the end of it. But do I need another part on top of this? Because I think you know, this is what I don't quite understand. Because looking, once you've made this section up, if I take that back off and I'll show you what I mean. See, this is the bit that's really confusing. So obviously we've got flat ends. So if I take all this back off and I can go back to this one section again. So we've got one of the, we'll take that one off. So basically I'm putting the two on the top, one at the on that side, right? Which that's what we've done. But looking at that, it's saying that we need a piece at the top there. So something's not quite right with this, and this is what's really threw me off. But on this side, it's saying that you need a piece at the top to bolt that on. Piece up this side, right? On that. But then there's a piece missing here. So what the hell is going on? That's not right. That wouldn't be right. So this is what I don't quite understand. I've followed what it says. Let's take that one back off for a minute. So I mean, one part can throw you off because you're trying to get the existence right. So I've got one piece there, so I'm back up this section, right? So I've stripped it back down and tried to follow the guide. So we've got that piece, and these two pieces. But it's saying on these two pieces, which this sits flush, it's saying that you've got to put one piece at the top. Well, if I do that, it raises it up. It won't sit straight. But on here, it's saying you need another piece, but it only gives you the one piece on that. So where does it sit? At the front? Which if it sits at the front, this don't line up. Because then it throws this out. Because this piece is now raised at the front. So you can't put it there. You can't have it there because it's too raised at the end of the day. And if you put it on there, you've got the same problem. If you pull it on top of here, it's again raised. So now this section's raised. Now when you put this on, it's basically, it doesn't sit right. It sits at an angle. You can't have it like that. So I am really confused on that front, because it's completely threw me off, because, you know, the only other way for that to sit flush is, like you said, is to put that on the front. This one there sits flush. This section here then sits flush on top of this part, which it does. And then you put your flats on. So you've got your flat front, which goes on this side, and these sit on top, which it does. That finished this sections off. So that's how it's done. But he's saying on there, these bits you've got to have on the front, but it looked like it was sitting at the top. So I don't know where that's going. So when you get to this section, if you look, it looks like you should just have I don't know where this is going, because that's really confusing, because there's no other way for that to sit in. But on this picture you can actually see, if I zoom in, you can actually see it. Look, on this section here, where the way I've got this situated, if you look closely, it looks like it's got a little bit of a black situation between that sandwich on top of that piece. So it looks like there's 3 pieces. Well, I've only got 2. So I don't quite understand the way they've planned this out. Again, Lego is really confused me, and that should sit flush. Well, how can it sit flush? If I put that raises that top, then it sits at an angle. You can't have it at an angle, because then it's not going to sit flush. These won't line up. And you can't put it at the front, because if this is too raised, this is all too raised up. I'm baffled, because that's where I'm stumped at now, because like I said, I followed every guide going, and I won't be able to complete this, because these will have it'll have nothing to sit against. And I can't even put a single one on there, because it's in the same boat. It's too raised up, because look, if I raise it, and you can't move it down either. So, which is weird, because the idea is that you need that where this sits nice and tight, so these all clip on. So I'm going to have to do some research. I think that section's wrong, and that will stop me from finishing this build, this one part. And this is only one packet, and already I've run into a problem. So which is really weird. And you won't be able to, you can't leave that out, because you can't finish the side, which is putting all the artwork on, which is the genuine idea. So I'm going to have to come back to this, guys. So on this part, so there will be a part 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream, because I won't be able to finish the build on that bit, and I'll come back to this once I've done it, and then I can hopefully edit it and add that bit in. So I'm going to just end the stream, and then I can sort of tie in that sort of section, and then come back to it and hopefully tie that bit back in on that front. So let's see if I can. So catch you in a little while.